Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us for our 2:30 streaming show. I'm Jamie French.
And I'm Robinson Miles. Now, we start off today with a story that we have been following for some time. We do have some new information on the case of two Ohio County parents who are accused in the death of their baby. Cage Rudd and Tesla Tucker were both in court today via Zoom. A motion was filed to consolidate the cases. The trial date of September 8th was also set for the pair. The next pretrial hearing is set for August.
Now, 8-month-old Maya Rudd's body was found in a duffel bag hidden in the family's home. Her cause of death was undetermined, but authorities say she did have meth in her system. So like Rob said, this is a story we've been following for a very long time and will continue to follow, of course, now that their trial dates are set.
Now for our next headline, the mission behind this morning's Coffee with a Cop was supporting victims of sexual violence. Evansville Police and Vanderburgh County deputies hosted the event at the Donut Bank on Lincoln Avenue. They were joined by leaders of local groups who provide support, advocacy, and resources for victims of sexual violence. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and Officer Taylor Maris says they wanted to provide a relaxed and welcoming environment for those who might want to learn more.
Yeah, so the next Coffee with a Cop is slated for May 19th. That'll be at Revival Coffee Company inside the Hills Church. That one runs from 7 to 9. You know, this is a great opportunity to get out and meet some of the faces you might see around the streets of Evansville and Vanderburgh County, and this one had an even greater purpose there, so very cool.
For our last story, it's another one that we've kind of had our thumb on for a while. A new nature preserve is coming to Vanderburgh County. Leaders broke ground today on the McCutcheonville Greenway Park. They're turning about 60 acres of the former Eagle Valley Golf Course into public green space. Plans include walking and biking trails, habitat restoration, and family gathering areas.
Yeah, they bought this ground from the EVSC for $1.7 million to build the park infrastructure. Officials say they will have to raise up to $3.5 million. So organizers say they are still looking for sponsors and donations, but this should be a pretty cool addition to that area of Vanderburgh County. I mean, we could always use some more parks, green spaces, just areas to get out and like ride a bike, you know, play some catch.
Oh, 100%. It's like buying books. Like, I'm not taking advantage of the ones we have already, but I do want more.
Yes.
I want more.
Absolutely. Yes.
And a good goal to have going into the summer months.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, there is a lot more happening today, so be sure to circle back for 14 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10.
All right. Well, it is beautiful outside today, so we will turn things over to meteorologist Arden Gregory with a look at your 14 First Alert forecast right after the break.
Stay informed on your local news and weather throughout the day by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows. At 8:30 a.m., get your First Alert forecast to plan the day ahead and catch up on the news that happened overnight with the 14 News Sunrise team. In the afternoon, get the latest headlines, forecasts, and a preview of the stories we're working on with the 14 First Alert streaming show at 2:30. And get an in-depth look at the 14 First Alert forecast so you're ready for the next big thing with the 14 First Alert weather show at 9 p.m. Watch the 14 First Alert streaming show that fits your schedule and works best for you. Streaming on your phone by downloading the 14 News app and the 14 First Alert weather app. On your smart TV by using the 14 News streaming app. And stream anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or on 14news.com. Stay connected and stay informed by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows on your favorite streaming devices.
Good afternoon. I'm 14 First Alert meteorologist Arden Gregory. This is a live look at the Evansville riverfront. Lots of blue sky and sunshine overhead. Notice the flags, though, really just snapping in the breeze. It is a very windy day across the tri-state. It's going to be mostly sunny, breezy, and warmer, not just today, but through tomorrow and Thursday as well. Then as we get toward the end of the week, showers and storms are in the forecast Friday. Some of that rain may linger into Saturday, although the weekend is trending mostly dry. Then we do have another chance of storms and maybe even some severe ones to start next week. Right now, we do have lots of sunshine, though. Barely even a cloud in the sky, just a few very thin clouds kind of filtering that sunshine, but No significant clouds and no rain to speak of, and it's going to stay mostly sunny and dry through the next couple of days. I mentioned it is very breezy out there. Most of the tri-state is under a lake wind advisory until 9 o'clock tonight. That means it's breezy enough that these strong winds and rough waves may create hazardous conditions for small craft. So if you're out on a local river or lake in a smaller boat, just be very aware that the wind may be strong enough that it could be problematic for you. These winds also put us at an elevated fire danger, so be very careful with any sparks or open flames, as fires could spread very quickly out of control under these conditions, as it has been dry for a while. And now we've got these breezy conditions, winds coming from the southwest around 10 to 20 miles an hour in most locations. But because the wind is coming from that direction, it's pulling warmer air from the deep south up into the tri-state. So yesterday was sunny, but our highs only made it into the mid to upper 60s. Today, also sunny, but we've got that wind, and the wind makes all the difference. That southerly breeze is pushing us into the mid to upper 70s now at 77 in Evansville, Newburgh, and Owensboro. And I think we'll tack on just another degree or two this afternoon, topping out somewhere in the upper 70s to near 80 today, thanks to that southerly breeze. Overnight tonight, once the sun sets, we'll start to drop back through the 60s. We'll eventually bottom out in the low to mid 50s. That is fairly mild, and again, that's because we still have this warm air flowing in from the southwest. Tomorrow will not be as windy as today. I'm not expecting any kind of wind advisory tomorrow, but it will still be a little bit breezy, and the wind will still be coming from the southwest. So much like today, it'll be mostly sunny and warm, again with highs in the upper 70s to near 80. Now, while it's going to be mostly sunny and dry for the rest of today, tomorrow, and Thursday, we are tracking two weather systems bringing us rain and thunderstorm chances starting with the end of this week. You'll see this big spike in our rain chances Friday, kind of tapering off then as we get into the weekend. Then another big spike in our rain chances Monday, tapering off as we get into Tuesday. So two weather systems. Let's talk about both of them. The first one, Friday. This cold front coming in from the northwest will probably start out dry first thing Friday morning, but by about the middle of the day, this rain starts to push in from the west. Scattered showers and even a few thunderstorms are then possible through Friday afternoon and evening, and even into Friday night. Now, this model has the rain clearing us by early Saturday morning. Some of the models hold on to it a little longer though, so it's possible we could get a stray shower Saturday, mainly early in the morning, but we'll then see clearing conditions as we go through the day, and I think by Saturday evening we'll probably have mostly clear skies. On Sunday then, it seems like we'll stay mostly dry, but by Sunday our next weather maker is right on our doorstep here. That pushes into the tri-state Monday. So again, we've got a good chance of rain Friday, mainly during the second half of the day, mainly dry over the weekend, but then our rain chances spike again on Monday. Much like what we've got on tap Friday, we may start out dry very first thing Monday morning, but I don't think we'll stay that way for very long. As this low pressure system and cold front sweep around from the west, rain is likely and some thunderstorms are possible, especially Monday afternoon and evening. Then as this cold front slides to the east, cooler, drier air starts to come in from the northwest. A few showers may still linger into Tuesday morning, though, before conditions begin to clear. I mentioned that potential for some strong or even severe storms. I think our chances of severe weather Friday seem pretty low. I wouldn't rule it out necessarily. We could maybe get an isolated strong to severe storm on Friday, but I'm not seeing a real clear signal that severe weather is going to be a problem for us on Friday. Monday may be the day to watch, though. The tri-state is right on the northern edge here of this area. Outlook is having a 15% chance of seeing severe weather. Now, that's a pretty large area. It goes from the tri-state all the way down into Louisiana here. And I really think the greatest risk of severe storms on Monday will probably be to our southwest, closer to places like Memphis. That's where I think there's the greatest risk of severe weather Monday, but we are also included in that. So Monday may be a day that we need to watch pretty closely as there is that potential that we could maybe see strong to severe storms. So again, our chances of severe weather on Friday seem pretty slim. There may be an isolated chance, but again, I just don't see anything I'm getting too worked up about yet for Friday. Monday, there's a stronger signal that we may see some heavy rain and stronger thunderstorms, but this is several days out. It's Tuesday. We're talking about storms that are going to hit Monday. This is 7 days away. So there's just not a lot of detail yet. It does seem like there's that potential. Those storms may be capable of producing heavy rain, gusty winds, maybe some hail. But this many days out, so much could still change regarding the exact timing, the exact threats. So we've held off on a first alert weather day for now, but I am kind of giving you that first alert that Monday is a day that we are keeping a close eye on for that potential for that possibility of severe weather. Taking a quick check in on the comments here. Good afternoon, Jeanette. Yeah, William mentioning the same thing I just pointed out, that we do have that 15% chance of severe storms on Monday. It is rare to see that this many days out. So that does tell you something right there, that 7 days out, they're already outlooking us. So again, that tells you that the Storm Prediction Center is seeing the same thing, that this many days out, there's still some uncertainty, but Monday looks like it's going to be a day to watch for sure. And Zach is asking, again, we don't have a lot of details on Monday yet. He's asking if that's expected to be an outbreak. Outbreak is a very strong word to use, especially a full week out. I would not say that anyone is expecting an outbreak on Monday. We'll have to just wait and see how things develop. There is the potential we could maybe see severe weather on Monday, but I wouldn't throw around the word outbreak, Zach. And he's also asking, is there a chance we miss severe storms, go the other way? There's always that potential that things could shift, things could change. The risk for severe weather could slide farther south. The timing could change. We dealt with that just this past weekend, where they had severe storms off to our west on Friday. But by the time it got to us, just the way the timing was, it weakened out because of the time of day that it hit us. So, if the timing shifts, if the location of that low shifts, we could end up getting pulled out of that severe weather threat, which is also part of why we haven't added a first alert weather day just yet. Monday is a day that we're watching, but this many days out, there's so much uncertainty, so much that could still change. So we wanted it to be on your radar, no pun intended, that Monday is a day to watch. But this many days out, there's still so much uncertainty and so much that could change that we didn't want to put an alert day in and then take it out and then put it in and take it out as things change over the next few days. So by the end of this week, especially by about Friday or so, we should really have a clearer picture of what we could see on Monday. And that's when we would really be able to start talking more details on timing and threats and things like that. But this many days out, it's just kind of a, hey, heads up. We may have the potential for severe storms on Monday, but a full week out, that's about all I'm going to be able to give you. As for this month so far, it has been an odd spring. It does feel like we're a little overdue for severe weather. We haven't had any yet this April, and April and May are typically time of year where we see most of our severe weather. And so instead, this April has been very warm and very dry. 10 of the first 20 days in April, we had highs in the 80s. That is uncommon. That is not normal. And what we've been really lacking in is rain. We did have about a third to a half inch of rain in most locations on Saturday. That was our first real kind of widespread rain since Saturday the 4th, when we had another kind of rainy Saturday. All said and done, though, we still have had less than an inch of rain for the entire month of April, which is a time of year where we typically see rain pretty regularly. So we are running a 2.5 inch deficit on rainfall for just this month. We are running 5.5 inches short on the year as a whole because we have had fairly dry conditions so far this entire year. Our average temperature, even with these cooler days this past weekend and yesterday, our average temperature is still running about 9 degrees warmer than you would expect so far for the month of April, because we have had so many days with highs in the 80s. And this warm, dry weather, it's back and it's hanging around for a while. So if you need to get out and mow your grass today, tomorrow, Thursday, all look great. It's going to be a little breezy, but other than that, it's warm, mostly sunny. Friday, iffy at best. You could maybe get out and get some yard work done first thing Friday morning, but I think by about lunchtime through the afternoon and evening, we're going to be tracking rain on Friday. And then again, we kind of dry things out some over the weekend before another chance of storms moves in on Monday. That cold front will usher in some slightly cooler weather as we get into the middle of next week. The extended outlook from Wednesday, April 29th through the end of next week up into Derby weekend there does show a trend toward below average temperatures. So the cold front bringing us that chance of storms on Monday may usher us back into another little cool snap where we're talking about highs maybe in the 60s instead of the 70s and 80s, which would be slightly cooler than average for the end of the month there. And for the precipitation outlook, we're showing average precipitation, but they are expecting above average precipitation to our south. So we may have another round of rain moving through the deep south. Not sure if that would reach us though. And again, that's just kind of a general outlook for as we get into next week. So here's just one more kind of summary of the 7-day forecast. Again, I am keeping an eye on the comments, so if you have any questions, please chime in here on our Facebook Live video. I've already answered William and Zach, but if you have any other questions, please let me know as I'm going to kind of go through one last summary here. Mostly sunny, not as windy today, but still on the breezy side with those winds from the south. Wednesday and Thursday, that's again pushing our highs into the upper 70s to low 80s. So a breezy, but otherwise really beautiful weather the next couple of days. Friday, especially as we get into the afternoon and evening, rain is likely. Some thunderstorms are possible. I wouldn't rule out an isolated, strong, or maybe even severe storm, but right now our severe weather chances seem pretty low. Obviously, we'll let you know if that changes as things move closer, but as of right now, I'm not seeing a major severe weather threat for us on Friday. Looks like the severe weather threat Friday will be mainly to our southwest, down closer to Arkansas and places like that. But you know, it's something we're still watching. We're not seeing a clear indication of severe weather yet, but an isolated stronger storm is not something I would rule out on Friday. The last of that rain tapers off Saturday morning. We're mostly dry then with highs in the upper 70s under partly cloudy skies through the weekend. Then that next weather system moves through Monday. Again, rain likely, thunderstorms possible, and about a 15% chance that we could even see some severe storms on Monday, potentially capable of producing damaging winds and maybe some hail. And then that rain would taper off as we get into Tuesday. Behind that is where we could then see some cooler air taking over for the tail end of April here. Good afternoon, Laura and Denise. You're welcome for the info. Again, we do these 3 times a day here, so if you do have any questions, please ask them in the comments of the Facebook Live video. There don't appear to be any more questions, so I'm going to wrap this up. Chief Meteorologist Jeff Lyons will have an updated look at your forecast on 14 News tonight at 4, 5, 6, and 10. 14 News at 10, I do believe, will be a streaming show again tonight due to NBA games on NBC, so just be aware of that. And he will do another all-weather streaming show like what I just did here at 9 o'clock tonight. So if you do have any questions about our thunderstorm chances later this week or anything else related to weather, please tune back in at 9 and Jeff will do his best to answer those questions for you then. All right, everybody have a great rest of your day.